Alright. Haven't done a video like this in a minute. Holy. Feels weird. It's awkward to even record. Update. Well, a life update. You can't see right now, but I might show you later. I am in a new setting. Tampa, Florida. I moved all the way from New York down to Tampa. I've been wanting to move down here for a minute. Probably I've been aiming to come down here for 3 years, it feels like. I've tried to come down multiple times, just leases have fell apart with roommates and whatnot, so I just said, fuck it. I can get this done a lot quicker and not have to depend on anyone but myself if I just go solo dolo, and that's what I did. I put myself in a position where I'm able to do it solo, whereas a few years back I didn't have the money I do now, just from saving, working 4, 5, 6 days a week, bartending and whatnot, just putting away money. I lived in my parents' house till I was 25, just saving money. So that gave me the leverage to be able to make a big move like this by myself and have some cushion as far as money and moving expenses up front. But I'm happy with it. I'm here. It's an awesome environment. The gym I go to is sick. There's so many people with like-minded mentality and whatnot. Everyone there records and helps each other out, and it just feels like a nice community. It's dope, honestly. But yeah, we're in Florida, Tampa, Florida. That's the update as far as location. Still chasing the dream. Aiming for that Alphalete sponsorship. We need that. I need it. I want to go to the top with them. I think they're so innovative and they have a lot of potential, even though they're one of the top companies. I just think the way they do things with Christian and his ideas are so out there sometimes, but that's what you need is creativity and imagination to run these big brands. As far as longevity goes, I don't think Alphalete's gonna die out anytime soon. It's just gonna keep propelling higher and higher as time goes on. So respect to them. I'm gonna be working with them soon, I guarantee it. Update on myself. We've rebounded. So the show is in mid-April. Had a vacation after that for a week, and then kind of just dabbled into all those cravings and whatnot. Honestly, I kind of regret how I did it. I just went too far, and honestly I kind of got fat. Not obese, but fat for myself. My face was really sunken in for months from dieting, because that's usually the first thing for me, and then I was used to that for months at a time, and then boom, 2 weeks, I have a fucking face full of water, my cheeks are puffy. I'm like, what the hell is going on? I look different, not like myself, so I was discouraged and whatnot. All my definition was gone, and I looked fluffy. I'm like, this is such a big adjustment so quick. It's mentally messing with me. I'm like, the content is not gonna be as easy. Being fluffy, it doesn't appeal to the eye as being shredded to the bone. I'm like, this is fucked. I saw my social media numbers go down. I'm like, damn, that's tough. So I went through that, and then I eventually cleaned out my diet and whatnot. We got back on track, and I've been bulking till literally a week ago, which now it's the 12th of July. Still, calories are still really high, but I had my first slight decrease with some cardio added into it, but I bulked all the way up. I never seen this before for me. I was above 170 pounds. I wouldn't say I was fat either. I'm pretty lean. I have some striations in my shoulder. The tricep has a little feather. I have abs. Definitely not as lean as I usually am, but that comes with being as heavy as I've ever been. Yeah, so I got up to 170. I wake up around 165 right now, which is over 10 pounds heavier than what I started at my last prep. So I'm happy about that. Definitely put on some size, and that's obviously good for improvement. Yeah, and we're about to start prep in literally like this week, so that's dope. We got the Summer Shredding Championships in Houston in October, so happy with the progress we made off that rebound. Hopefully we can bring in a better package. I know we will with Justin, my coach. He's great at that, so that should be interesting. Second prep of the year coming up right around the corner. So now we'll do the Q&A. So I got some questions off my Instagram. I haven't looked, I mean, I've glanced at them, but I haven't put any thought or like wrote anything down. So like these answers are going to be like really candid and like first thing that comes to my mind. I'm not gonna like get into depth. So here we go. First question. What is your biggest obstacle and how do you deal with it? That's a very broad question. Biggest obstacle. The first thing I literally think of is getting out of bed. Like, I am not a morning person. I'm so tired. Getting out of bed is so difficult for me. I don't know why. Whether it's like my quality of sleep isn't as good as it should be, or I don't know. That just, right now, at least, that seems to be my biggest obstacle, because if I don't get out of bed, it puts everything else behind as far as my schedule and my routine goes. So it just like affects me mentally, because I'm one to want to hit my goals and want to be on track to hit them. So if anything is put behind, it's like, and if I'm in like control of that and I'm still behind, it's like, fuck, I got to do a better job, and I get anxious. But that's just like the first thing that comes to my mind as far as biggest obstacle. In a broad spectrum, not necessarily life or prep or anything. That's just the first thing I thought of. So, all right, question 2, thoughts on PEDs. I don't really care if people use them. More power to you if that's what makes you happy, if that's what helps you hit your goals. Just be safe, do the research, and yeah, have at it. Just be safe. I don't know. Talk about post-show mentality and feels. So post-show, immediately after, it's such a like a euphoric feeling. You're on a high. You've been working at a goal and bringing the best package as you can for months on end. It's not an easy 3-4 months. It's very difficult, especially the last like 1.5. It's very hard mentally and physically. So being able to actually stick to the plan and do the show right after, you feel amazing. You're like, wow, I did it. And it's encouraging to keep going forward for yourself. But the couple weeks after, when I started seeing my face get puffy and filled with water, it was just like, bro, like this is not what I'm used to. I'm used to seeing like lean body tissue in the mirror when I'm at the gym, and I'm not seeing it, and my face looks puffy. It's like, it fucks with you for sure, but it's just part of the process. If you're rebounding, if that's like your goal is to rebound and gain size, it's just part of the process, and eventually everything will go back to normal. But yeah, definitely an adjustment. Even now, it's just like, I know when I take my pump cover off, and I'm not what I was 2 months ago, and that's okay, because I'm 165, 170 pounds in the gym, as opposed to like in the high 140s, low 150s. Like, it's a big change, but it's just part of the process. You got to get used to it after the show. So I've done it once now. I know what to expect going into it, so I would assume I would be able to handle that better and rebound a little cleaner this time, be in control as far as like cravings go and stuff like that. All right, next question. How many times do you train? I don't go by week. I don't like calculate. I'm not on a 7-day like week as far as training. I do 2 days on of hard training and 1 day off. So and then I repeat. So my split is push-pull legs. So for example, I'll do push-pull, rest, and then legs, push, rest, and then I'll pick up from where I left off on the push-pull legs. So far, and then rinse and repeat. Just keep going. I have an A day for push-pull legs and a B day for push-pull legs, and they're intuitive. So if I have to deadlift, I'm not gonna squat the next day, and if I have to squat the day before, I'm not gonna deadlift. So I have 2 days, and then the push days rotate as far as chest focus and shoulder focus. But either way, 2 days on, 1 day off, repeat. That's, if you're training with high intensity, you're gonna want that day off. Trust me. It's like I used to never want days off, but at the level I train right now, like your body almost calls for it instinctively. So 2 days on, 1 day off. Short answer. All right, similar to like the post show mentality and feelings, this one is talk about the mentality shift coming off from the show. What is it like being so strict and getting back into daily life? Honestly, it's not that. I mean, you get more leeway for sure, but majority of the structure is actually how I like to live my life. It almost forms habits. So my meals are the same. If I want to swap one out, like during a bulk phase or like a maintenance phase, I could easily swap it out for something else that's not on my plan. I can live life a little bit, like go to restaurants here in Tampa and enjoy myself with my friends. Like, it's not a big deal, but 85% of the plan is still the same. Like, it's just because that's just what I like. I like to be structured, one, and two, I like to like be strict for performance, because who doesn't like to see progression in their performance in the gym? I love that. It makes me feel like I'm doing something right, and it's just awesome to see like your strength go up or like you putting on size. So it kind of forms habits, honestly, the way I eat and the way I go about my life. Like, I'll do maybe morning walks or something, get my steps in, and eat clean foods, because I know my body's gonna feel good. If my body feels good, I can like be in a clear headspace to get goals done throughout the day and be efficient and effective with my time. So there's not a huge shift, but it's definitely more ease to like go out and enjoy things outside of the plan, if that makes sense. All right, next one. Who are some people you look up to? This didn't say like fitness or anything, but I'll kind of narrow them down. In fitness, Christian Guzman, awesome entrepreneur. CBum, his mental game, I think, is insane. Obviously, he's fucking ideal genetically, and he's just a beast. But his mental strength is so like impactful and impressive. I don't think he gets the credit he deserves, honestly, for that. So CBum, Christian. Outside of fitness, I like Russ, the music artist. I think he can relate to anyone with a dream and a vision. Like, he did everything himself. I mean, obviously he has help, but for the most part, he's self-sufficient. His story is crazy. His intellect is on another level as well. So if you haven't heard of Russ, I'm sure you have, but his story, you should definitely like look into that. He even has a book out on it. It's crazy. Drake, someone I look up to. I just think he's sick. Like, the guy doesn't miss. His aesthetic is dope. I always liked Conor McGregor for self-belief, manifestation. He's just a unit and an alpha male. That's all I can think of off the top of my head without like planning this right now. But yeah, those guys are kind of who I look up to. Any like entrepreneur too. Like, I'm so into entrepreneurship and business. I just think that part of the world is so sick and interesting. Like, it just piques my interest, all like the different businesses and strategies and whatnot. It's really cool. So yeah. Who has your favorite looking physique? Seba, hands down, no question. Guy is perfect. Literally. Like, no one's better than him. When are you transitioning into classic physique? I don't even know, honestly. I love the classic physique poses. I hit them all the time in the gym. I never do like men's physique poses. The reason I did men's physique was because it's the smallest muscle mass like division, and being natural, that gives me the best advantage to compete and win. I don't necessarily think my structure and my frame are best for that division, but I did pretty well my first show, so hopefully we can improve on that second. Also, there's a routine you do with classic physique, so I gotta nail poses, and that takes time to actually like choreograph and get comfortable moving and hitting those poses correctly. Like, I don't want to look like an amateur dumbass on stage. Like, I don't want to. That's just not a good look, not something I'm into. If I'm gonna do it, I want to do it right. So posing is definitely something that's gonna have to be practiced and taken more seriously before I even consider that. Also, I gotta gain like a good amount of size to even like compete with them. I think my shape will look good, but I need to have more muscle mass on me to compete in classic. But who knows? One day, probably honestly like 2 years. I'll probably, after this show, take I don't know, maybe a year and a half to really like bulk up but stay lean. If I could like wake up and be like 170, 175 in the morning, then I think I could definitely like do some damage for sure. Just the way I'm structured and how I pose right now for fun, I think I'll look really good, but who knows? What is your favorite clothing brand? As far as fitness clothing brands go, Alpha Elite, obviously. That's my goal, to be sponsored and work with them. Another good fitness brand, I mean, Gymshark's the OG, but I don't know, maybe David Lade can do some cool stuff with them. I don't know how much he knows about fashion and whatnot, but oh, Dark Sport's pretty fire. It's getting kind of overplayed though. Honestly, a lot of these brands don't really, they just don't do much for me. I wear like a lot of fucking like streetwear clothes in the gym, or like thrifted stuff, because I like that like blend between streetwear and fitness in the gym. So I'll like mix Alpha Elite with oversized like thrifted tees or just shit like that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going Alpha Elite #1, and then yeah, I can't even think of one off the top of my head. Alpha Elite, Dark Sport. Raw isn't really clothing. They have some decent pump covers, but like they're nothing crazy. They're more supplements. Their supplements are fire. I don't know. I would just rock Alpha Elite and mix and match off like ASOS or like thrifted stuff, kind of trendy stuff. But yeah, as far as clothing brand goes, Alpha Elite's on top. How do I keep my mindset positive every day? I'm definitely not positive every day, especially on prep. Let's let that be known. I'll try my best and think of everything I have in my life and how grateful I am. So gratitude is key. I don't know, just do things you like to do. I feel like that's a pretty simple formula to being happy. Like, listen to music you want to hear every day, talk to people you like that make you laugh, consume content maybe that makes you laugh or motivated, or just don't put yourself in harm's way. Basically, try as best you can to protect yourself and only allow good energy into your life, whether it's the content you consume, the people you're around, the music you listen to, whatever it is, the books you read, the decisions you make. Think of what's going to make you happy, and that should be a good starting point to waking up happy every day and grateful. So that's kind of how I keep my positive mindset as best I can. On prep, you definitely have to always constantly remind yourself, like, people have it way worse. I'm like blessed to even get to be on a prep. Like some people can't because of health conditions, or maybe they're not mobile enough to do so, or they don't have the financial means to even start a prep. Like in prep mode, there's so much to be grateful for, and to just take a step back and like realize how much good you have. So gratitude is the number one key to keeping a positive mindset, I would say, for sure. This one says, what's the overall motto you go off to keep striving every day? I don't know if I have a motto. Something I say a lot is aim high, fail high. I tend to see a lot of people aim for mediocre and fall short of being mediocre. I think it's like a good rule of thumb though, like if you have a goal, aim above it. That way, if you fail aiming high, you're still in the upper echelon of like wherever you landed as far as hitting your goal. So for an example, if you have a test in school coming up and you're like a B, maybe an A student, you want like a 90 on the test, I would say aim for 110. Find a way to get 110. That way, if you fall short of that, you're still gonna be either, I would assume, if you're aiming that high, you prepared enough to get at least a 90 if you fail short of that 110 goal. So maybe you'll get like a 92, which is above what you wanted anyway. So if you have a goal, aim even higher. Aim for the stars, because odds are you're not going to achieve that goal on the first try, the 5th try, the 10th try. But if you're resilient enough to keep going, you're going to fail high. If that makes sense, I don't know. It makes sense in my head. Aim above the goal and you'll fail right around where you want to be anyways. So that's what I've kind of always done. That's my motto to not keep me striving, but that's something I say a lot to myself and to other people that just ask. I always think there's so much more potential than people think they have. Yeah, that's kind of like my motto. But to keep me striving every day is just like have a clear vision of what you want and try to visualize it and feel what it's going to be like. So pretty much manifest as much as you can, and every day you'll come closer to it. Just keep that vision locked in your head vividly. So, and that should be more than enough of a reason why to keep striving every day, even when it gets tough and you don't want to do stuff. Like, think about that vision in your head. That's your reason why. So keep that in mind. The hardest part about prep, shit, there's a lot. I would say self-awareness is a good one. A lot of the times you think you're doing okay managing your relationships and reactions and whatnot, but without even knowing, you could be extremely irritable and impatient to people who don't deserve that. Like, they didn't ask for me to go on prep. They didn't ask for me to have a shitty attitude, or they didn't ask for me to have low energy. That's something I knew that I might run into while going at this goal. So be mindful of other people and be self-aware of how you're acting. Try to catch yourself, because these innocent people don't deserve to get any type of negativity based on you going for a goal. That's really selfish of yourself. So be self-aware. I think that's one of the hardest things to do. But if you can constantly remind yourself, like, how am I doing today? Am I treating everyone with respect and like kindness? That's a good thing to do for sure. Another hard thing is, it wasn't really hard in New York, but I have a feeling in Tampa it's going to be a little bit more difficult. But is avoiding the distractions and the temptations. Like, there's so much to do in the city, and I have friends down here that are gonna want to ask me to go do things, and like a lot of the times it's just gonna be saying no is gonna be one of the hardest parts about prep. Like, it's not personal, It's just something I have to do in order to reach this goal of mine that has the ability to make or break my career or put me in a lot better position to achieving my goal with Alpha Elite. So it's a selfish thing, but it's important to me, and saying no is definitely, to like my friends, is definitely going to be like the hardest part as far as being in Tampa this year for this prep, I think. So it's not that I have FOMO, it's just I feel like I'm constantly saying no to people, but which kind of sucks because I like these people. I obviously want to do things like go out with them or even have lunch with them, but I can't. Like, I'm so structured and so dedicated to the goal that I just have to say no for these next 14 weeks, and I hope they understand that. So yeah, those are some difficult things about prep, but yeah, all these are off the top of my head. That's all I'm gonna do. Yeah, I think that went pretty well. Freestyle that whole thing, so that's what's up. I'm gonna start banging out some videos for you guys. I'll show you the gym I'm going to. It's Powerhouse Gym. It's like 10 minutes away from where I live. It's a great atmosphere, like I said in the beginning of the video. I'll start showing you what I eat on this prep starting in a few days, like I said. So I'll show you what I eat, the cardio I'm doing, the workouts, and everything in between, just to keep you guys updated and create a good community that is engaging with me, and hopefully I can help you guys in any way, shape, or form. So yeah. I guess I'll just show you the view really quick of this apartment because it's kind of cool. So, alright. So yeah, you walk out here. Rooftop pool over there. Oh shit! Yeah, so that was like the back end of the city. It was a hell of a lot cheaper with that view than the opposite side that has like more high-rise buildings and whatnot. So definitely took this side because it's not that big of a deal. So that's the update. That was the Q&A. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, we got a bunch of other things coming. I don't know if I'm gonna name the new prep series part 2 or should I just vlog all of it. I don't know, I'm still deciding on that, but we'll see. I just wanted to get some content out to you guys, so hopefully this is something different. It wasn't even in the gym. It gives you some more insight on my personality and my mindset. So yeah, if you made it this far, I appreciate you very much. If you haven't and you watched a little bit, I still appreciate you even though you're not hearing this. But yeah, go follow my social medias if you haven't. Everything's Colin Wenzel with 3 L's. And yeah, that is the end of this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.